Hello, welcome to another Made in China, the first Made in China of 2020, I think. And today we're going to be taking a look at something a little bit naughty. Yes, those people at PowKiddy have gone and made a fake Nintendo Switch. And here's the actual console. Looks very close to the original one, doesn't it? Just look at that. Nah, I'm only joking. This is a real one, and it's filthy as well. Alright, let's take a look at the fake Nintendo Switch. Okay, so I have had this out, and it did come in a little plastic bag, which is now gone. So there's the Switch itself. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Inside the box, we have a few little things I should expect. Nothing of great quality. There's the plastic bag. We have a very small instruction manual. Notice it looks to have a camera on there. We have a guarantee card. Not that it means much. USB mini charging, so no USB-C on this. And a very, very nasty pair of headphones. Okay, so that is the actual packaging. Now, what about the machine itself? Well, as you can see, compared to a real Nintendo Switch, it is a lot smaller. Plus, I've also got the colors back. Oh, I've got upside down, that's why. Alright, there you have it. So it is a lot smaller, but you can kind of see the resemblance. Not too bad. Unfortunately, these things do not come off. They are stuck on. That's the way they are. They do not move at all. Now, it does have a screen protector on, and it is a little bit dirty, but I'm keeping that on because I don't plan on keeping hold of this. Now, it's got one of those analog thumbsticky things. Not that good. Unfortunately, the D-pad is buttons. And it's got the regular buttons over there. Buttons feel okay, but you know, nothing super premium. We've got a volume down and a volume up over here. We've got a microphone here. Start and select. These are LED indicators to tell you when you're transferring data, if it's charging or if it's powered on. On the bottom, absolutely nothing. On the back, well, you can see that's where the camera would have been, but this one doesn't have one. The sticker says it is an 8GB version, and that is true. And we've got one mono speaker up there. And the whole unit is covered in not the type of rubberized plastic that you might have got in the, you know, the late 90s or whatever, or the early 2000s, but it does have a rubberized feel to it. And in all honesty, it actually feels quite nice. It doesn't feel that cheap. Now here's the surprise on the top of the machine. Now you may have already noticed, it's got a mini a mini HDMI out. So we've got to check that and see how good it is. We've got a headphone socket, which also doubles up as a composite video out. The micro USB input, which can be used to put data onto the machine and also charge the battery. And we have the micro SD card slot. Now, when you buy this machine, oh, and I should also point out, we have the power button and the return button up here. And we've also got L&R triggers, which are actually very easy to press considering the location of them. Now, when you first get this, it has a couple of ROMs built into it. Nothing that special. It's got a couple of SNES ROMs, sorry, a couple of NES ROMs, Nintendo ROMs, and also a couple of GameBoy Advance ROMs, and that's it. Nothing else is on it. And the manual doesn't exactly tell us what it can play. So I loaded this thing up with ROMs from many different systems, and believe it or not, there is quite a surprise. This thing plays something I wouldn't have expected it to. But before we get to the games, let's take a look at the menu system. As you can see, they've gone to great lengths to try and replicate the Sony type of menu system. PlayStation or PSP. Never actually used a PSP, so I'm not sure, but I'm sure a PSP looks like this. My PlayStation 4 kind of looks like this. We've got the usual selection of options: video, photos, audio, ebook. We've got some dictionary there. The dictionary is actually quite funny. It is a Chinese to whatever language dictionary, or an English to Chinese dictionary. So let's just put in something absolutely childish. Yeah, there we go, yeah, I know. Should be more mature, but whatever. Tit. And there we have the Chinese explanation for tit. Also tit for tat. Alright. So yeah, it's a Chinese dictionary. And we got stopwatch, browser, which basically means you can browse the file system, not the internet. And tools, calculator and the calendar. Calculator is basic. It's not a touch screen, which is a shame. And a quick look at the calendar there. Yep, typical calendar, nothing too special. So, what you all want to see are the games. How good are the games on this thing? And what type of games does it play? Well, let's move the camera a little bit closer and find out. Okay, so let's take a look at what type of games this does play. Now remember, when I got it, it did have Famicom and Game Boy Advance games built in, and that was it. And there were no directories for any other types of games or emulators. In fact, you can't see the emulators. So I made a directory for various different systems and put the ROMs in there, and surprisingly, some work and some don't. And some of the ones that don't work you would expect to work. But first, let's take a look at the arcade stuff. Now, arcade is a bit hit and miss, but the typical things like CPS games do work, as you can see right now. So we've got Alien vs Predator here, just starting up the main ROM. It's just a typical main ROM. And as you will see, it takes a while to load, but once it does load, it plays. And there we go, we are in. Now all the emulators on this machine do use save states. So pressing select will we'll insert the coin, and pressing start will start the game. Now watch. Pressing the return button on the top of the machine will take you to the menu. And this is where we can do our save states. And this is the same for every emulator on here. So we'll put it in save state slot number 1. Okay, the file is saved. Alright, so we'll back out of that. Let's restart the emulator. Okay, so we've restarted there. Now if I go back to the menu system and put load progress, and now remember we saved progress 1, so let's load that. Yeah, it is a bit slow for the arcade stuff. There you go. Straight into where we saved it. So how good is the CPS emulation? Well, pretty good actually. I mean, it's certainly no full speed, full screen. Well, it is full screen, sorry. It's certainly no full speed, full frame rate, but it's not too bad. Okay, so Atari Lynx, do they work? Nope, it can't even see the files. Famicom games, yes, they work, and yes, they're going to be just as you'd expect them, perfectly fine, so I'm not even going to go look at them. Famicom bores the hell out of me. When you get the machine, you actually do get it with this folder here, and in here are a load of Chinese ROMs, like hundreds of them. Okay, Game Boy games, will it play those? Yes, it will. So, my favourite one here, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's get going. Oh, should have picked Michelangelo. And yes, as you can see, works just fine. And you can see the screen is the correct aspect ratio. Now when you get the machine, it defaults to the stretched aspect ratio, and it's horrible. There we go. Let me just get back to the original settings, screen size. So the original is this, full screen. That's what it is when you buy the machine and you switch it on for the first time. Yeah, look at that. That's horrible, isn't it? Now if you put scale, it actually displays in the native resolution of the console. It's emulating, I should clarify. So screen size, original size, and it should be the original Game Boy size now. Return to game. There you go, little tiny thing in the middle of the screen. How about Game Boy Advance games? Will it play those? Yes, of course it will, because it came with a load of them. Let's see, what shall we do? Let's put a bit of Konami Crazy Racers, or YY Racers, as it's known in Japan. Okay, so as you can see, that seems to be running just fine. Let's get into the actual game. Things might change once we get playing the game. We'll go Goemon. Yeah, seems to be handling that just fine. Whoops. I always do that. Alright, let's check out another system. Now we're going to check out more of these games later on, but we use the HDMI out to see how it works. Okay, Gameboy Color. Will it run those? Let's quickly start up Shantae. Yes, it does. Runs Gameboy Color. Alright, quickly get into the game. See if it actually has any sound issues. Sounds fine. Okay, so you got to go through all of the storyline at the beginning of this game before it actually plays, so we'll skip all that. But yeah, believe me, Game Boy Color games do work just fine. Okay, Game Gear games, do they work? Nope, we can't even see the files. Master System games, do they work? Well, it can see the file because it's a bin file, but will it load it? Probably not. No, invalid file format. Okay, Mega Drive, does it play Mega Drive? Well, it does, but not very well. Take a look at Bare Knuckle here. The sound is terrible on it, and it's pretty slow. And it is a Russian hacked version as well. But that doesn't affect the actual game. Just listen to the noise when she punches. Look at that slowdown. Okay, so as you can see, that is terrible. It doesn't play Mega Drive very well at all. In fact, none of the games work very well on it. Okay, so Mega Drive is definitely out. Alright, let's see. PC Engine, can I play those? Nope, can't even see the files. And even if you rename the files, it won't work. Okay, so it can't play Mega Drive, so it's not going to play PlayStation games, is it? Let's take a look. Bloody hell, it actually does load PlayStation games, and that is the surprise. This thing is not advertised as playing PlayStation games, but as you can clearly see, it's just loaded up Harmful Park. Now, I have tried a few PlayStation games on this, and it only really plays the games which are not really heavy on 3D. So the 3D games are going to be skipping frames like crazy. They're not very playable, to be honest. But the 2D stuff is quite reasonable. As you can see here with Harmful Park. So your 2D games, you're going to be able to play those on this machine. Just don't be expecting to play Tekken 3 or anything like that. I do like the way it's very easy to exit out of the menus. Okay, next one, Super Famicom. Will I play Super Famicom games? Well, let's start it off with a bit of Doom. Super FX2 chip action. Will it play that? No. Alright, well let's try a normal games. Fatal Fury Special, or Garound Densetsu Special, as it's called in Japanese. How will it play this? Alright, well. Ooh, listen to how slow that music is. Ooh, that is slow. By the way, this port of Gameboy Setsu Special is really good. I do like the Super Nintendo port. Ooh, that is painfully slow. And this num thump thing is absolutely awful for getting moves out. It's easier with the buttons. Yeah, that is terribly slow. Alright, so yeah, Super Nintendo games don't work that well either. How about WonderSpawn? Will I play those? No, can't even see the files. Okay, so there you go. You can see what type of machines it will play. So let's connect this up to the TV via HDMI and see how good it displays HDMI. Okay guys, well there you go. That's the HDMI video out for you. Doesn't even work. And yes, it is on the right channel on the TV. And yeah, it is selected to HDMI on this thing, but the HDMI out doesn't work. And it even switches off the screen. So let's switch off the machine and switch it back on and see if that makes a difference. Okay, this machine is now off. Let's switch it back on. It's going to switch on. Alright, so it's booting up. Alright, so I'm going to do this in front of the screen. Okay, display. Okay, it's got on display. Go into that. Oops, not display, sorry. TV out. Okay, can you see that? TV out. Okay, it says off. HDMI. Okay, so that should be now outputting HDMI signal. Put in the HDMI cable. Nothing. Doesn't work. So maybe it's because the HDMI cable is plugged in after I switched over. Alright. Well, let's switch it off again. Okay, and switch it back on. And we'll do it while the HDMI cable is plugged in. Okay, here we go. TV out. That's language. TV out. Okay, HDMI, ready? Nothing. What a load of bollocks. Alright, well, let's press the NTSC button and see if that makes any difference. I even set up the stereo mic just for this. Oh. Alright, let's see. TV out. NTSC. Yep, bugger all. Not a thing. Okay, tell you what guys, I'm going to see if I've got the analog video out cable lying around because we didn't get one with the machine. Alright, I'll be back in a moment. And here we go, taking a look at the analog video out, and as you could see before it just went off, it's absolutely awful, and it's just gone off altogether now. There we go, you can hear me moving around the options, but yeah, no signal, absolutely bugger all. So yeah, let me take out the cable and put it back in. Alright, and let's select NTSC again, just so you can see I am actually doing this. You see that on the screen there? Yeah, you should be able to. Alright, so let's go. Options, where are the options gone? Okay, settings, TV out, NTSC, because this is an NTSC TV, and yeah, not very promising, is it? Nothing at all. Oh, here we go. That's it. Okay. Well, maybe we can get it to display a PAL signal. Let's give that a try. Alright, let's try it with a PAL signal. Don't expect it to work because the TV's NTSC. Yeah. No, think again. Oh, it's the same image. Okay. So yeah, this thing is bloody useless when it comes to TV out. Yeah, that'll probably just cut off in a moment. Oh well, back to the white table. Well, I've got to say I'm very happy that this is not a sponsored video because this machine is total shite. Well, shite as far as TV out goes. Alright, well, we may as well take a look at some more of the games running on this machine. Now, I think people are going to be buying this as a Game Boy Advance machine since that's what seems to be playing fairly well. Okay, let's put some more Game Boy Advance games on, see how well they run. Now, I've got to admit, I've never played this before, so do excuse me if I'm doing something completely wrong. Okay, I've got to admit, it seems to be running this fairly well, to be honest. Frame rate seems right. Okay, well, let's try a different Game Boy Advance game. Yep, full speed, no problem. Well, that wasn't very clever, was it? So there you can see, it does play Game Boy Advance games very, very well. They all seem to work just fine. And the screen viewing angle on it isn't that bad at all, as you can see here. I mean, you can kind of see from, you know, quite a variety of angles. So, I mean, it's not that bad actually. So, yeah, if you're buying this as a Game Boy Advance replacement, It's great. Works really well. But it's just a shame that that HDMI out and the analog video out don't do anything. It doesn't work at all. So that is a real shame. But that's a Game Boy Advance replacement. Yeah, I mean, go for it. Not too bad at all. Now, this is currently, let me turn that down a little bit. Okay, so this is currently on sale on AliExpress. That's where I bought this one from. And I think I paid $39.99 shipped. So, yeah, even the price isn't that bad. What I'll do is I'll put a link in the video description down below. As I say, completely unaffiliated. I don't get any kickbacks from this or whatever. So if you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't want to buy it, it doesn't bother me. But yeah, link in the video description down below. But there you have it, yeah. The PowKiddy Nintendo Switch looking knockoff. It plays Game Boy Advance games and Game Boy and Game Boy Color games really well. And a few other things, like the PlayStation, which was kind of a surprise. Alright, until next time guys, take it easy and keep on gaming. See ya!